Billionaire League, written and published by Rich Audiobooks. The fundamental difference between creating moderate success and building extraordinary wealth lies in understanding scalability. Every billionaire in history has solved problems that affected millions, if not billions, of people. When Jeff Bezos created Amazon, he didn't just open another bookstore, he revolutionized how the entire world shops. When Elon Musk founded PayPal, he wasn't content with simply creating another payment system. He envisioned transforming how money moves globally. This principle extends beyond just technology. Sam Walton scaled retail by reimagining supply chain logistics. Bernard Arnault scaled luxury by transforming local fashion houses into global brands. They understood that true wealth creation comes from building systems that can grow far beyond their personal capacity to deliver value. These billionaires didn't necessarily work harder than others. They worked smarter by choosing problems whose solutions could multiply without proportional increases in effort or resources. Lesson 1. Solve problems that scale. The math behind scalable solutions is compelling. Linear growth adds consistent amounts over time, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exponential growth multiplies 1, 2, 4, 8, 16. When you solve a scalable problem, your impact and potential returns follow the exponential curve. This is why software companies can reach billion-dollar valuations with relatively few employees, while traditional businesses might need thousands of workers to achieve similar revenue. Finding scalable problems requires a specific mindset. Start by looking for friction points that affect large populations. What frustrates millions of people daily? What inefficiencies exist in major industries? What current solutions are constrained by physical limitations that could be overcome through technology or innovative business models? The most successful billionaires excel at identifying these opportunities and creating solutions that can be replicated efficiently across markets and demographics. The beauty of solving scalable problems in today's digital age is that the tools for reaching global markets are more accessible than ever. Cloud computing, mobile devices, and social networks provide unprecedented platforms for scaling solutions. Warren Buffett often speaks about the power of scale in business, noting that the best investments are in companies with strong scaling potential and minimal marginal costs for serving additional customers. Climate. Implementation of scalable solutions requires careful attention to system design. The solution must work just as effectively for the millionth customer as it did for the first. This means creating robust processes, leveraging technology appropriately, and building teams that can support growth at break. Larry Page and Sergey Brin designed Google's search algorithm to handle billions of queries daily. Their early focus on scalability became the foundation of one of the world's most valuable companies. The path to extraordinary wealth isn't paved with small solutions to small problems. It's built on identifying and solving fundamental challenges that affect massive markets. Whether you're starting a new venture or expanding an existing business, always ask yourself, how can this solution serve millions? What would need to change to reach billions? How can the value delivery scale independently of my personal time and effort? These questions guide you toward the kinds of problems that, when solved effectively, create billionaire-level opportunities. Lesson 2. Own more than you work. The fundamental difference between the ultra-wealthy and the working class lies not in their hours worked, but in what they own. The world's leading billionaires understand that true wealth comes from ownership of companies, intellectual property, real estate, and other appreciating assets. This ownership mindset represents a crucial shift from trading time for money to acquiring assets that generate value independently. Consider Jeff Bezos, who owns a significant portion of Amazon's shares. While he certainly worked incredibly hard to build the company, his wealth primarily comes from his ownership stake rather than his salary as CEO. This pattern repeats across the billionaire class, from Mark Zuckerberg's Facebook shares to Warren Buffett's Berkshire Hathaway holdings. They all prioritize building and maintaining ownership of assets that appreciate over time. The ownership mindset extends beyond just company shares. Successful billionaires focus on acquiring and creating various forms of assets: patents, trademarks, real estate portfolios, technology platforms, and brand equity. These assets continue to generate value whether their owners are actively working or not. Elon Musk, for instance, holds numerous patents across his companies, creating lasting value beyond his daily operational involvement. The transition from worker to owner often begins with small steps. Many billionaires started by reinvesting their earnings into ownership opportunities rather than lifestyle upgrades. They understood that every dollar spent on consumption was a dollar not invested in ownership. This principle applies whether you're starting a small business, investing in stocks, or creating intellectual property. The key is to consistently convert active income into ownership of productive assets. Digital assets have created new ownership opportunities in the modern economy. Software, online platforms, and digital content can be created once and owned forever, generating recurring revenue through subscriptions, licensing, or advertising. This digital leverage allows for unprecedented scaling of ownership benefits, as demonstrated by platforms like Microsoft's Windows operating system or Google's search engine. The billionaire approach to ownership also involves strategic positioning. They seek to own critical components of value chains, essential infrastructure, or platforms that others depend on. This strategic ownership creates moats around their assets, making them more valuable and harder to replicate over time. Bill Gates didn't just create software, he owned the operating system that became essential for personal computing. Creating and maintaining ownership requires a different skill set than being an employee. It involves understanding corporate structures, intellectual property law, investment vehicles, and asset protection strategies. Billionaires typically surround themselves with expert advisors in these areas, ensuring their ownership stakes are properly structured and protected. They view these professional fees not as expenses, but as investments in securing their ownership position. The ownership mindset also influences how billionaires approach new opportunities. Rather than asking, "What job can I get?" they ask, "What can I own?" This fundamental shift in thinking leads to different strategic decisions and opportunity evaluation. When evaluating business ventures, they focus on the potential for building lasting equity rather than immediate income. Equity ownership, in particular, has been a crucial path to billionaire status. Many of today's wealthiest people prioritize taking equity over high salaries in their early careers. They understood that ownership of a growing enterprise would ultimately be worth far more than even the highest salary. This principle applies not just to company founders, but also to early employees who negotiated for equity stakes instead of purely cash compensation. The ultimate goal is to reach a point where your owned assets generate more value than your active work could ever produce. This doesn't mean stopping work. Most billionaires continue to be highly active in their businesses and investments. Rather, it means creating a foundation of ownership that provides leverage and exponential growth potential beyond personal effort alone. Lesson 3. Learn before you earn. The world's wealthiest people share a striking commonality. They are voracious learners who prioritize knowledge acquisition before and during their wealth-building journey. Warren Buffett famously spends 5 to 6 hours per day reading, while Elon Musk taught himself rocket science by devouring textbooks and engaging with experts. This dedication to learning isn't coincidental. It's a fundamental strategy that enables them to spot opportunities others miss and make better decisions with their time and capital. The billionaire approach to learning differs markedly from traditional education. Rather than pursuing credentials or degrees for their own sake, they focus on acquiring specific knowledge that can be leveraged for wealth creation. Mark Zuckerberg immersed himself in programming at a young age, while Jeff Bezos studied market trends and consumer behavior extensively before launching Amazon. Their learning is purposeful, directed, and immediately applicable to their business endeavors. Knowledge acquisition for the ultra-wealthy is treated as a high-return investment. They understand that the right information, properly applied, can generate returns far exceeding traditional investments. Bill Gates takes annual Think Weeks, isolating himself to read and contemplate new technologies and trends. This dedicated time for learning has repeatedly helped Microsoft anticipate and capitalize on major technological shifts. The key is not just accumulating information, but developing the ability to synthesize it into actionable insights. The most successful billionaires build systematic approaches to learning. They create personal knowledge management systems, maintain extensive networks of experts they can consult, and develop efficient ways to process and retain information. Ray Dalio, founder of Bridgewater Associates, documents his learning and decision-making processes in what he calls principles, creating a knowledge base that compounds over time and can be shared with others. Financial intelligence represents a crucial area of learning for wealth creation. The ultra-wealthy invest significant time understanding markets, business models, and financial instruments before deploying capital. They study past market cycles, analyze successful business cases, and learn from both victories and failures in their field. This deep knowledge allows them to move with confidence when opportunities arise, while others remain paralyzed by uncertainty. Their learning extends beyond business and finance into adjacent fields that inform their decision-making. Understanding psychology helps them better navigate negotiations and team dynamics. Studying technology trends enables them to anticipate market shifts. Learning about human behavior and sociology helps them create products and services that resonate with customers. This interdisciplinary approach provides them with unique insights and competitive advantage. The billionaire's learning mindset is characterized by intellectual humility and curiosity. They remain open to new ideas and actively seek out perspectives that challenge their existing beliefs. Larry Page and Sergey Brin continuously explore emerging technologies and scientific breakthroughs, allowing Google to stay at the forefront of innovation. This willingness to admit what they don't know and eagerly fill those knowledge gaps has been crucial to their sustained success. For these elite wealth creators, learning is not a phase that ends, it's a perpetual process that drives their success. They recognize that in a rapidly changing world, yesterday's knowledge quickly becomes obsolete. By maintaining a steady investment in learning, they ensure their skills and understanding remain relevant and valuable. They view knowledge as a compounding asset that, unlike physical resources, can appreciate indefinitely while generating ongoing returns through better decision-making and opportunity recognition. Lesson 4. Build what others depend on. The true path to extraordinary wealth isn't just about creating something useful, it's about creating something indispensable. The world's most successful billionaires have mastered the art of building products, services, and platforms that become deeply integrated into people's lives and businesses, making them nearly impossible to replace. Consider how Amazon Web Services has become the backbone of the modern Internet, powering everything from Netflix to NASA. Jeff Bezos understood that by providing essential infrastructure for other businesses to build upon, Amazon could create a form of dependency that would generate massive recurring revenue. This principle extends beyond technology. Bernard Arnault built LVMH into a luxury goods empire by acquiring and controlling the brands and supply chains that the high-end fashion world depends on. The key to creating dependency lies in identifying critical pain points and solving them so thoroughly that your solution becomes the default choice. Microsoft achieved this by making Windows and Office the standard for personal computing, creating an ecosystem that businesses worldwide rely on daily. When organizations build their entire operations around your product, the switching costs become prohibitively high, creating a powerful moat around your business. This principle of dependency extends to platforms that connect different groups who need each other. By building the infrastructure that enables these connections, you become the essential intermediary. PayPal's success stems from becoming the trusted payment processor that millions of businesses and customers depend on for transactions. Similarly, Visa and MasterCard built payment networks that the entire global economy now relies upon. The most powerful form of dependency comes from network effects, where the value of your product or service increases as more people use it. Mark Zuckerberg leveraged this with Facebook, creating a social network that became more valuable to each user as their friends and family joined. The more people invested their time and memories on the platform, the more indispensable it became to their daily lives. To build what others depend on, you must think in terms of ecosystems rather than individual products. Apple's success isn't just about making great devices, it's about creating an interconnected system of hardware, software, and services that users become increasingly invested in over time. The more someone uses Apple products, the more valuable the ecosystem becomes to them, making it progressively harder to switch to alternatives. This strategy requires a deep understanding of your users' needs and behaviors. Elon Musk's Tesla isn't just selling cars, it's building a comprehensive ecosystem of electric vehicles, charging stations, solar products, and energy solutions that work seamlessly together. By controlling multiple critical components of the sustainable energy future, Tesla is positioning itself as an infrastructure company that others will depend on for decades to come. The billionaire mindset focuses on creating solutions that become deeply embedded in other people's success stories. When your product or service becomes a crucial part of how others achieve their goals, you've built more than a business. You've created a foundation that others build upon. This level of integration and dependency doesn't happen by accident. It requires careful planning, strategic foresight, and a commitment to solving fundamental problems in ways that create lasting value. The ultimate goal is to become so essential that your offering is viewed not as a choice, but as a necessity. Whether it's operating systems, payment networks, cloud infrastructure, or social platforms, the world's wealthiest people have built their fortunes by creating things that others simply cannot do without. The question to ask yourself isn't just, what can I build, but what can I build that others will depend on for their own success? Lesson 5. Play the long game. The world's most successful billionaires share a distinct perspective on time that sets them apart from the average entrepreneur. While most business people think in terms of quarters or fiscal years, billionaires operate on decade-long horizons. This expanded time perspective fundamentally changes how they approach opportunities, investments, and strategic decisions. Jeff Bezos exemplified this mindset when he told shareholders in Amazon's early days that he would sacrifice short-term profits for long-term market dominance. This philosophy enabled Amazon to reinvest heavily in infrastructure and expansion, while competitors focused on immediate returns. Today, that patient capital allocation has created one of the world's most valuable companies. Warren Buffett demonstrates similar thinking through his famous quote, "Someone's sitting in the shade today because someone planted a tree a long time ago." The long game manifests in how billionaires approach skill development and relationship building. They invest years mastering specialized knowledge, developing rare expertise, and cultivating high-value networks, often with no immediate payoff in sight. Bill Gates spent thousands of hours programming as a teenager, developing deep technical expertise long before founding Microsoft. This foundation of knowledge and relationships compounds over decades, creating opportunities that shorter-term players never see. Playing the long game requires a sophisticated understanding of compound growth. Small advantages, consistently maintained over long periods, create exponential outcomes. This applies not just to financial investments, but to knowledge, relationships, and reputation. The billionaire mindset recognizes that consistency over time is more powerful than intensity in the moment. They focus on sustainable progress rather than unsustainable spurts of activity. This extended time horizon also influences how billionaires handle setbacks and market cycles. They recognize that temporary failures and downturns are inevitable features of any long-term journey, not signs to abandon ship. Elon Musk faced near bankruptcy with both Tesla and SpaceX, but maintained his long-term vision through the difficulties. This resilience through short-term pain is only possible with unwavering confidence in the long-term trajectory. The ability to delay gratification distinguishes billionaire decision-making. They routinely sacrifice immediate rewards for future gains, whether that means living below their means to reinvest in business growth or passing on profitable but distracting opportunities. Mark Zuckerberg famously turned down billion-dollar acquisition offers for Facebook in its early days, recognizing the platform's long-term potential. This patience extends to how billionaires build their organizations and cultures. They invest heavily in foundations that can support massive future scale, even when such infrastructure seems excessive for current needs. They hire for long-term potential rather than immediate productivity. They develop systems and processes that can endure for decades rather than quick fixes. Legacy thinking shapes billionaire strategy in unique ways. They don't just plan for their own success, but for multi-generational wealth creation and impact. This influences everything from their choice of business model to their approach to succession planning and wealth preservation. The goal isn't just personal enrichment, but creating enduring institutions and assets that appreciate across generations. The long-game mindset requires exceptional emotional discipline. It means staying committed to your course while others chase trends and quick wins. It means maintaining conviction when the market temporarily disagrees with your thesis. It means investing in capabilities that won't pay off for years. But this discipline, maintained over decades, is what separates mere success from true wealth creation. The billionaires who have achieved lasting impact all share this expanded relationship with time, seeing opportunities and horizons that others miss in their rush for immediate results. Lesson 6. Take asymmetric risks. The wealthiest people in the world share a common trait in their approach to risk-taking. They consistently seek and capitalize on asymmetric opportunities. These are situations where the potential upside far outweighs the downside, creating a favorable risk-reward ratio that can lead to exponential returns while limiting potential losses. Warren Buffett exemplifies this principle through his famous first rule of investing: never lose money. His second rule: never forget rule number 1. This isn't just clever wordplay. It reflects a sophisticated understanding of risk management that has helped him build Berkshire Hathaway into a financial powerhouse. Buffett doesn't avoid risks. He carefully calculates them and only proceeds when the potential rewards significantly exceed the possible downsides. Jeff Bezos demonstrated this principle when he left his stable Wall Street job to start Amazon. While many viewed this as a risky move, Bezos saw it differently. He applied what he called the regret minimization framework, considering whether at age 80 he would regret not trying more than he would regret failing. The downside was returning to a well-paying job if the venture failed, while the upside was potentially building one of the world's most valuable companies. This asymmetric bet paid off magnificently. Elon Musk took asymmetric risks by investing nearly all his PayPal proceeds into Tesla and SpaceX. While he risked personal bankruptcy, the potential upside was revolutionizing two massive industries: automotive and space travel. His bet wasn't just financial, it was calculated based on deep technical knowledge and market understanding. He recognized that even if both companies failed, the learning and experience gained would be valuable for future ventures. The key to asymmetric risk-taking lies in thorough preparation and deep domain knowledge. Bill Gates didn't randomly decide to drop out of Harvard. He had been programming since his early teens and recognized a massive opportunity in the personal computing revolution. His risk was asymmetric because he had developed rare and valuable skills that would serve him well regardless of Microsoft. Smart billionaires also structure their risks through careful deal-making and legal frameworks. When Mark Zuckerberg scaled Facebook, he maintained voting control while giving up economic ownership, creating an eccentric position where he could guide the company's destiny while sharing financial risk with investors. This structure allowed him to take bold, long-term bets without fear of losing control. The modern digital economy has created new opportunities for asymmetric bets. Software companies can start with minimal capital, test ideas quickly, and scale rapidly if successful. A failed app might cost thousands to develop, but a successful one can reach billions of users. This dynamic explains why so many recent billionaires emerge from technology sectors. The asymmetric potential is simply greater. Risk assessment isn't just about financial calculations. It's about understanding second-order effects and system dynamics. The most successful risk-takers think several moves ahead, considering not just immediate outcomes but potential future opportunities that might arise from their decisions. They recognize that some risks create options. The billionaire approach to risk isn't about gambling or taking blind chances. It's about methodically identifying situations where you can cap your downside while leaving your upside unlimited. This might mean starting a side business while keeping your day job, negotiating favorable deal terms that limit personal exposure, or investing in your education in emerging fields. The goal is to position yourself where success can be life-changing while failure remains manageable. Lesson 7. Automate and delegate. True wealth creation isn't about working harder. It's about building systems that work for you. The world's most successful billionaires understand that their time and energy are finite resources, and they've mastered the art of automation and delegation to achieve exponential results. Consider Jeff Bezos' early days at Amazon. While other bookstore owners were personally recommending books to customers, he built an automated recommendation engine that could serve millions simultaneously. This fundamental difference in approach, creating systems rather than doing everything manually, set the foundation for Amazon's incredible scale. Today, those same principles of automation extend across their entire operation, from warehouse robotics to algorithmic pricing. The billionaire mindset approaches every repetitive task with a simple question: how can this be automated or delegated? Elon Musk exemplifies this thinking in his companies, where automated production lines at Tesla and SpaceX handle increasingly complex manufacturing processes. But automation isn't just about robots and software. It's about creating systematic approaches to all aspects of business operation. Delegation is equally crucial in the billionaire's toolkit. Warren Buffett's success at Berkshire Hathaway stems partly from his ability to identify exceptional managers and give them near-complete autonomy to run their businesses. He focuses on what he does best, allocating capital and making high-level strategic decisions, while trusting his team to handle the day-to-day operations. This multiplies his effectiveness and allows the organization to scale beyond his personal capacity. The key to effective delegation lies in building strong systems and processes first. Mark Zuckerberg didn't just hire people to run Facebook's various divisions. He created robust frameworks and mechanisms that allow these leaders to make decisions aligned with the company's overall vision. This systematic approach to delegation ensures consistency and scalability while reducing the need for constant oversight. Modern technology has democratized automation capabilities that were once available only to large corporations. Cloud computing, artificial intelligence, and no-code platforms now allow entrepreneurs to automate complex business processes at a fraction of the historical cost. Successful billionaires continuously leverage these tools to create more efficient operations and free up their time for strategic thinking and innovation. The most sophisticated practitioners of automation and delegation create what could be called meta-automation, systems that improve and optimize themselves. Google's machine learning algorithms don't just automate search results, they continuously learn and improve their performance without human intervention. This represents the highest form of systematic thinking, where the systems themselves become self-improving assets. However, automation and delegation aren't about removing the human element entirely. Instead, they're about elevating human contribution to higher-value activities. Bill Gates didn't automate Microsoft software development. He automated the distribution and installation processes, allowing developers to focus on creating better products. The goal is to use automation and delegation to eliminate routine tasks while amplifying human creativity and strategic thinking. The path to billionaire-level wealth requires thinking beyond personal productivity to building self-sustaining ecosystems. This means creating organizations that can operate effectively without constant personal involvement, using a combination of well-designed systems, trusted delegates, and cutting-edge automation tools. Those who master this approach don't just create wealth, they create engines of wealth generation that continue to grow and evolve even while they sleep. Lesson 8. Control distribution channels. In the realm of wealth creation, controlling distribution channels has been a cornerstone strategy for many of today's billionaires. Jeff Bezos transformed retail by building Amazon into the world's most efficient distribution machine. Sam Walton created an empire by mastering the art of getting products to consumers through Walmart's sophisticated supply chain network. Their success demonstrates a fundamental truth. Those who control the path to customers often control the market. Distribution channels are the arteries through which products and services flow to customers. While many entrepreneurs focus exclusively on creating great products, billionaires understand that superior distribution can often trump superior products. Netflix didn't just create compelling content, it built a revolutionary digital distribution platform that changed how the world consumes entertainment. Similarly, Apple's success isn't solely about innovative products. Its network of physical stores and digital marketplace provides unparalleled control over how customers experience and purchase their products. The digital age has created new opportunities for distribution channel innovation. Social media platforms have become powerful distribution channels for content, influence, and commerce. Mark Zuckerberg's Meta platforms control how billions of people connect and communicate, while also serving as crucial distribution channels for advertisers and businesses. This digital transformation has enabled entrepreneurs to build global distribution networks with relatively minimal physical infrastructure. Vertical integration represents another powerful strategy in distribution channel control. Elon Musk's Tesla doesn't rely on traditional dealership networks. Instead, it sells directly to consumers through its own stores and website. This approach not only increases margins but also provides complete control over the customer experience. The company's supercharger network further strengthens its distribution advantage by controlling a crucial component of the electric vehicle ecosystem. The rise of platform businesses has demonstrated how distribution channel control can create powerful network effects. Uber didn't just create a ride-hailing service, it built a two-sided marketplace that connects drivers and riders. By controlling this distribution channel, Uber can influence pricing, service quality, and user experience while capturing value from both sides of the marketplace. This platform model has been replicated across numerous industries, from food delivery to professional services. Cloud computing has emerged as a critical distribution channel for modern businesses. Amazon Web Services, AWS, dominates the cloud infrastructure market, effectively controlling how many companies deliver their services to customers. By building and controlling this essential distribution channel, Amazon has created a powerful revenue stream while gaining valuable insights into emerging business trends and opportunities. The most successful billionaires often combine multiple distribution strategies. They understand that relying on a single channel creates vulnerability. Instead, they build redundant systems and complementary channels that reinforce each other. This might mean combining physical retail with e-commerce, direct sales with marketplace partnerships, or proprietary platforms with third-party integration. Looking to the future, emerging technologies are creating new opportunities for distribution channel innovation. Artificial intelligence, augmented reality, and the metaverse are opening new pathways to reach and serve customers. Forward-thinking entrepreneurs are already positioning themselves to control these emerging channels, recognizing that early movers often have the advantage in establishing distribution dominance. The lesson from billionaire success stories is clear. Don't just create products or services, create and control the channels through which they reach customers. This might mean building physical infrastructure, developing digital platforms, establishing direct-to-consumer relationships, or crafting innovative partnership networks. The goal is to own the customer relationship and control the value chain from production to consumption, ensuring that you capture maximum value while building sustainable competitive advantages. Lesson 9. Invest in your name and reputation. Your name and reputation represent the most valuable currency in business, one that compounds over time and can't be easily replicated or stolen. The world's most successful billionaires understand that their personal brand equity often exceeds their monetary wealth in terms of creating new opportunities and maintaining long-term influence. Warren Buffett exemplifies this principle through his carefully cultivated image of Midwestern wisdom and integrity. His name alone adds billions in value to Berkshire Hathaway, as people trust his judgment and flock to invest alongside him. This trust wasn't built overnight. It came from decades of transparent communication, consistent performance, and ethical behavior, even when it wasn't convenient. The modern billionaire class has taken personal branding to new heights through social media and content creation. Elon Musk's Twitter presence acts as a force multiplier for his business ventures, allowing him to move markets and shape narratives around his companies without spending a dollar on traditional advertising. His authentic, unfiltered communication style has built a loyal following that supports his ventures and defends his reputation. Frieda Branson understood early that personality could be monetized through strategic brand building. By infusing Virgin's corporate identity with his adventurous spirit and customer-first mentality, he created a distinctive brand that could successfully enter multiple industries. His publicity stunts and media appearances weren't just for show, they were calculated investments in building public trust and recognition. Reputation management in the digital age requires constant vigilance and proactive maintenance. Jeff Bezos' purchase of the Washington Post wasn't just a business investment. It was a strategic move to have influence over media narratives and protect his reputation as Amazon faced increasing scrutiny. Smart billionaires actively shape their public image rather than letting others define it for them. Building a strong personal brand begins with identifying your unique value proposition and authentic voice. Bill Gates transformed from a cutthroat tech executive to a leading global philanthropist through deliberate reputation management and genuine commitment to his chosen causes. This evolution expanded his influence far beyond Microsoft and into global health, education, and climate change. The most successful personal brands are built on consistent delivery of value over time. Mark Cuban built his reputation by sharing honest, practical business advice and making himself accessible despite his wealth. This approach has created opportunities far beyond his initial success, from media appearances to startup investments to political influence. Reputation also acts as a powerful risk management tool. When faced with challenges or criticism, a strong, positive reputation provides a buffer of public goodwill. Howard Schultz's reputation for ethical leadership helped Starbucks weather numerous controversies and maintain customer loyalty through difficult periods. The digital age has democratized personal brand building, making it possible for anyone to begin investing in their reputation regardless of current wealth or status. The key is to start early, remain authentic, and consistently deliver value to your chosen audience. Your reputation should be treated as a long-term investment that requires regular deposits of good work, ethical behavior, and meaningful contributions to your field or community. Lesson 10. Never stop reinventing yourself. The world's wealthiest people share a common trait that sets them apart from merely successful people. They are masters of personal reinvention. This continuous evolution isn't just about changing direction when necessary, it's about proactively reshaping oneself before external circumstances demand it. Bill Gates transformed from a software pioneer to a global health advocate. Jeff Bezos evolved from an online bookstore owner to a space exploration visionary. Elon Musk reinvented himself across multiple industries, from financial technology to electric vehicles to space travel. These billionaires understand that staying relevant in a rapidly changing world requires more than just adapting. It demands systematic reinvention. They approach personal transformation as a strategic process, regularly evaluating their skills, knowledge, and market position against emerging trends and opportunities. This mindset of constant evolution prevents stagnation and creates multiple paths to wealth generation. The billionaire approach to reinvention begins with maintaining a beginner's mindset, regardless of previous successes. This intellectual humility allows them to spot emerging opportunities that others might dismiss or overlook. They actively seek out new learning experiences, immerse themselves in unfamiliar industries, and cultivate relationships with people who challenge their existing worldview. This constant exposure to new ideas and perspectives becomes the fuel for personal transformation. Seen about invention also requires letting go of past identities and achievements. Many wealthy people describe the necessity of killing their darlings, abandoning successful ventures or familiar roles when they no longer serve their larger vision. This willingness to let go of what worked yesterday creates space for tomorrow's opportunities. They understand that clinging to past successes can blind them to future possibilities. The ultra-wealthy approach reinvention as both an art and a science. They systematically analyze market trends, technological advances, and societal shifts to identify areas ripe for disruption. This analysis informs their personal development goals and helps them acquire the skills, knowledge, and relationships needed for their next evolution. They don't wait for disruption to force a change. They proactively position themselves ahead of major market shifts. Personal branding plays a crucial role in successful reinvention. Billionaires carefully manage their personal narrative to ensure it evolves alongside their changing interests and ventures. They understand that their personal brand must be both consistent enough to maintain trust and flexible enough to encompass new directions. This careful balance allows them to maintain credibility while exploring new territory. The most successful reinventions often involve leveraging existing strengths in novel ways, rather than starting completely from scratch. Billionaires analyze their core competencies and find innovative applications in new markets or industries. This approach reduces risk while maximizing the potential for success, as it builds upon proven capabilities while exploring new horizons. Network reinvention accompanies personal transformation. The ultra-wealthy actively cultivate relationships with people who represent their future aspirations rather than just their current reality. They understand that their network must evolve as they do, bringing in new perspectives, opportunities, and capabilities that align with their emerging interests and ventures. The reinvention process also requires careful attention to timing. Billionaires develop a keen sense of when to begin transitioning to new ventures or roles. They start laying the groundwork for their next evolution while their current success is still peaking, ensuring they maintain momentum through periods of transformation. This overlap creates a smooth transition that maintains their influence and resources while exploring new territories. Lesson 11. Protect time like treasure. Time is the ultimate equalizer. Whether you're worth billions or just starting out, everyone gets the same 24 hours each day. What separates billionaires from others is their religious devotion to protecting and maximizing this irreplaceable resource. They understand that time is the only truly finite asset, and they guard it with the same vigilance they apply to their financial investment. The world's wealthiest people have mastered the art of time valuation. They regularly assess activities through the lens of opportunity cost, asking not just, is this worth my time, but is this the absolute best use of my time right now? This rigorous evaluation extends beyond obvious time wasters to include seemingly productive activities that might be better handled by others or eliminated entirely. Billionaires implement sophisticated systems to shield their time from unnecessary intrusions. They employ multiple layers of gatekeepers, from executive assistants to chiefs of staff, who filter requests and opportunities according to strict criteria. These aren't mere secretaries, they're strategic time defenders who understand the principal's goals and priorities intimately enough to make informed decisions about what deserves attention. The ultra-wealthy also recognize that mental bandwidth is as precious as actual time. They structure their days to protect their peak cognitive hours, often scheduling their most important strategic work during their periods of highest mental clarity. Many successful billionaires are known for their morning routines, not because they're early risers by nature, but because they've learned that protecting their first hours from the world's demands pays enormous dividends. Decision fatigue is another enemy that billionaires actively combat. They minimize low-impact choices through standardization and automation of routine decisions. From wearing the same style of clothes to eating similar meals, these habits aren't about minimalism. They're about conserving mental energy for decisions that truly matter. Every choice avoided is cognitive capacity preserved for higher value thinking. The relationship between time and delegation takes on new meaning at the billionaire level. Rather than asking, "Can I delegate this?" they ask, "Why am I still doing this?" Their default is to delegate everything except what absolutely requires their unique skills or authority. This isn't about avoiding work, it's about ensuring their time is spent only on activities that leverage their highest capabilities. Technology plays a crucial role in their time protection strategies, but not in the way most people use it. While others let technology interrupt and fragment their time, billionaires employ it as a barrier, using sophisticated systems to batch communications, automate responses, and create space for deep work. Their digital environments are carefully curated to serve their needs rather than demand their attention. The wealthy elite also understand that white space in their schedules isn't empty time, it's strategic reserve. They build buffers into their days for unexpected opportunities, creative thinking, and recovery. This might look like inefficiency to outside observers, but it's actually a sophisticated approach to maintaining peak performance and availability for truly important matters. A billionaire's calendar reveals their priorities with crystal clarity. They view calendar management as a strategic activity, not an administrative task. Every commitment is evaluated against their long-term objectives, and they're not afraid to ruthlessly eliminate or decline anything that doesn't align with their highest priorities. This extends to personal time as well. Family, health, and renewal activities are scheduled with the same importance as business meetings. The ultimate lesson from billionaire time management isn't about squeezing more productivity from each minute. It's about treating time with the same respect and strategic thinking they apply to capital allocation. They understand that time, unlike money, can't be earned back, saved, or multiplied directly. It can only be invested wisely in the present moment to create future value. This perspective transforms time protection from a productivity hack into a fundamental wealth-building strategy. Lesson 12. Create before you consume. In the realm of wealth creation, there exists a fundamental divide between creators and consumers. The world's most successful billionaires have mastered the art of being prolific creators while maintaining disciplined consumption habits. This principle extends far beyond simple financial transactions. It represents a complete mindset shift that separates the ultra-wealthy from the average person. The billionaire's day typically begins with creation rather than consumption. Instead of immediately checking emails, social media, or news feeds, they dedicate their peak mental hours to generating new ideas, developing strategies, or working on innovative projects. This approach ensures that their best energy is invested in activities that generate value rather than absorb it. Bernard Arnault, for instance, spends his mornings conceptualizing new luxury experiences and product lines before engaging with the day's demands. The creation-first mindset extends into how billionaires approach market opportunities. Rather than following trends or copying existing success stories, they focus on originating new categories, services, or solutions. Jeff Bezos didn't just create another bookstore, he envisioned and built an entirely new way of shopping. Elon Musk didn't simply join the automotive industry, he revolutionized it by creating a new category of desirable electric vehicles while simultaneously building the infrastructure to support them. Diagon assets represent one of the most powerful applications of the Create First principle. Content, software, and intellectual property can be created once and monetized indefinitely. Mark Zuckerberg's creation of Facebook exemplifies how a single platform can generate perpetual value through user-generated content and network effects. The initial creation costs is heavily outweighed by the long-term value generation potential. The world's wealthiest people also understand that creation extends beyond products and services to include systems, processes, and organizational structures. They invest significant time creating frameworks that allow their businesses to scale efficiently. This might involve developing proprietary technologies, establishing unique corporate cultures, or designing innovative business models that can be replicated across markets. Creation before consumption applies equally to personal development and learning. Instead of passively consuming information, billionaires actively create knowledge frameworks, test hypotheses, and develop unique insights. They write books, give speeches, and share their perspectives, transforming their experiences into valuable content that benefits others while building their personal brand and influence. Financial creation takes precedence over financial consumption in the billionaire mindset. While they might enjoy luxury goods or experiences, they prioritize creating assets that appreciate over time, rather than purchasing depreciating items. Warren Buffett's modest lifestyle, despite his enormous wealth, exemplifies this principle. His focus remains on creating value through strategic investments, rather than consuming his wealth through extravagant spending. The creation-first principle also manifests in how billionaires approach relationships and networks. Rather than simply joining existing communities, they create valuable networks and opportunities for others. They establish foundations, organize events, and build platforms that bring people together, generating social capital that far exceeds what they might gain from merely participating in existing networks. Time management for billionaires revolves around maximizing creative output. They structure their schedules to protect periods of deep work and creative thinking. This might mean declining numerous consumption-oriented activities, meetings, events, or social engagements to preserve time for creation. They understand that every hour spent consuming must be balanced against the potential value of using that time for creation instead. The ultimate expression of the create before consume principle lies in its compound effect over time. Each act of creation builds upon previous ones, establishing a foundation for future opportunities and wealth generation. By consistently prioritizing creation over consumption, billionaires build empires that continue to generate value long after the initial creative act, establishing lasting legacies that transform industries and society.